Okay, here we go again. I did a short video to explain what happened to the other video. But the long and the short of it is, welcome back to Now TV Canada. And I am just on YouTube channel. I'm your host, Jen. Again, I tried doing the video the first time and then something got knocked and the wiring got loose and then it only got a few minutes in and then it disconnected. And because I had laundry and lunch and a little walk to the store, I had to go do that and then sort of just regroup and then come back. I don't like to do second and third takes and so on. Like if I can get it all done right the first time, that's what I prefer. Perfectionism in me or something. Just a standard as a writer I've had all my life. I have a gift where I don't have to do 9 or 10 revisions of something. And I'm pretty efficient at organizing, packing as I travel and keeping my properties clean. So when I make my videos, I kind of want them to be clean too in that aspect. So in that video that only lasted 2 minutes, I showed everybody that I did accomplish my standard first aid with CPR CAED recertification. And it wouldn't have mattered if I had gotten it from there because I've done everything. I grew up in St. John's, ambulance training, plus swimming all my life. And as you go through every level, they teach you more and more first aid. So I've always had some form of it since the catastrophic experiences in my childhood had taught me very early in age how important it is to be able to help people. I can distinctly remember yelling for an hour, like around the catastrophic broken right leg. Call me an ambulance, call me an ambulance. I need to go to the hospital. I call 911. I've broken my leg. And I'm the one with the broken leg in the dark in the winter at night when I should be in bed sleeping because it's a school night. Anyway, long of the short of it is I was looking at 4 people, 2 kids close to my age, 5 people, 3 adults, 2 kids close to my age and 3 adults, one of which eventually was my mom that waddled over and they were all just standing there. And I promised myself I would never, ever, ever, ever be that kind of irresponsible person. Sorry, something on the screen that's bugging me. Okay. And so I vowed I would get first aid at the highest level for just dealing with the safety of the public and maintain that all of my life in making a difference to make sure people in the world around me and coming up behind me don't ever have to live through what I lived through. And there's a lot of other things in my life that there just was no help for. And it's sad. There's some improvement since then. Thankfully, people have fought. But I had to grin and bear it and figure out how to do all of this self-care without that. And so I'm very adamant about telling people to take the time to get their first aid. It is so important that you carry this card in your wallet and have a basic idea on how to keep a person calm, keep them from not moving, take enough personal information, and do enough of the vitals to hand off to somebody with higher training or EMS about the situation you've come upon in order to help them and help the patient so they have a higher chance of survival and recovery. Instead of situations like where Christopher Reeve lost all of his movement and became quadriplegic. I often wonder if he had first aid in our country, if he would have been complete quadriplegic, or if we would have done something slightly different at that time. I don't advocate much for our care system now. It's so bad. We have no oxygen chamber treatment in Canada at all, and I didn't know that. I grew up thinking that we had oxygen chamber treatment as long as America had it. And there are some disorders that the boost of the blood and oxygen in your system gets from that treatment immediately cures, like 1 to 2 treatments solves the problem. This would include helping people's bodies fight infections, open sores, skin problems that would not require as much antibiotics or worse, amputation, because of how long things are left like that without giving them the oxygen chamber treatments they need to get the immune system up to a point where it can fight back and win. So that's another battle on my list of things I'd like to do, get a hold of people that can help set up the Good Doctor program here that I want to help restore people's health and give them a chance to recover and keep their limbs and keep walking rather than end of life care or putting them in a crippling situation. So at any rate, on June 1st, I got the card. The standard first aid is done. I will never lose this level of first aid certification again. I had in previous times, when I switched from St. John's Ambulance to Red Cross, gone as far as taking the instructor training course where it was covered for free because they were looking to hire more instructors. But that person had made the mistake of using another school of first aid teaching to train instructors for their company. And there was obviously an issue that happens with the instructor from that company. And I had predicted this would be an issue. And boy, was I right. So I got my fundamentals of instruction and my teaching experience certificate, which is good for 10 years. So I think I still have some time on that. It doesn't have to be redone. But I didn't get to do my 2 live teaches. And they wanted me to do like computer program kind of class where you can look at all the clips and the videos and the work, not just do interactive live stuff with paperwork, games, and the people, which I much prefer because I'm older. And I find that if you do the interactive stuff, you're more inclined to remember it in long-term memory rather than just short-term to get through the day, the session, or the course, and then get out the door with your ticket and not remember anything, which is why I'm big on another thing. St. John's Ambulance has these little pouches. Excuse me, my throat. I just knew to pour that because I had a feeling this was going to happen. They have these little pouches with first aid stuff in it and pocket mask. And in the pouches, they have these little books with the mini first aid instructions and stuff in there. So never fear, as long as you get through your course and you come into a first aid situation, to avoid the bystander's effect, just pull that book out, read through it, and help jog your memory and refresh yourself in the training you've taken so you can get in there and help make a difference. In my life of having first aid in Canada, I have had to be one of the first people on site to many unfortunate situations. And I am grateful that God put me through that experience very early in life to get me there to that level of skill. So I could be that person in those first aid situations where I could make a difference. I witnessed a car crash, a car accident in Ottawa. It still stuns me to think of it today, where one car was going this way and another car was coming this way. And they were going at such a speed, it was unreal. And the car going this way literally flips, like it rolls with everybody still in it. And that top part just comes flat in. And I was like, no way. There's just no way. There's no survivors. Oh, like just everyone's dead. And as I get closer to start doing things, as the bystander effect thing starts happening, and I guess somebody had started the call, people start crawling out of the vehicles alive. And I had witnessed, literally God witnessed to me, a miracle that the hood hadn't crushed in enough to have actually taken all of their lives and that they still had mobility. And obviously seatbelts had made a difference. Everyone was wearing theirs. And then I immediately got worried of the opposite problem. They're moving from the condition they're in and crawling out of the vehicle. So if you have any kind of major injury and you have your movement still and you move, you could literally lose that. You could inadvertently kill yourself because you're like, I'm fine, crawling out of this car, but you're not fine. Well, first of all, you were just in a major car crash, so that's not fine. You're going to have critical incident stress related response, shock, PTSD, to the injuries in first aid when it could be severe like that is, basically to stay calm and not move. You wait for the jaws of life. You wait for the firefighters that are usually first on scene, and other people to help you with what should be done next for the safety of everyone in the vehicle, in the car situation. So I had to walk over and talk to people and ask and keep them focused, looking at me. Do you know where you are? Do you know your name, your age? Tell me any details about your body. So people are, not in a good state when they're in situations like that and all shaken up. And it's important to know the difference between being the bystander who was unable to do anything or won't do anything versus a person who's got that standard training who can have some confidence in doing something. So in my life, I ended up taking the training from the St. John's Ambulance, Red Cross, and the Life Saving Society because I'm an avid swimmer, which leads to yesterday, my day of celebration. I went for a walk in English Bay, Stanley Park area that I hadn't been to in a long time. I did a nice long walk down West Georgia and put up my paw shake, dog walking, cat walk, cat sitting, house sitting flyers. And then I walked to the second beach, which is out upon the view of Pacific Ocean that is just diehard beautiful. It's like a little bit of California. And then there's an actual sandy beach where you could just swim in the ocean itself. I hadn't been there in a couple of years either. And so I wanted to stay away from the sand, and ocean water's colder. So I went swimming to celebrate. And I did my first 1,000 meters of swimming in a 50-meter pool in my life. And with my life conditions, mostly my asthma, and then in recent years, the blood pressure medicine, that was just such a satisfying, outstanding moment to be able to spread my wings, to stretch, to just fly. And the maintained speed that I was having when I have a longer stretch to swim, a bigger length of swim, was incredible. I am learning quickly that my problem was never that I can't swim in all the years I've been swimming, but that I needed more distance to build up speed, to help release that energy and that power, and to show my endurance. So that is a wonderful way to celebrate the completion of my psychology course and regaining my first aid through the Life Saving Society. So I didn't have to go back to St. John's and go from OFA level 1, which I do still hold, which doesn't expire till December, or back to Red Cross, which also provides the same. They provide the course for the Life Saving Society, which confuses me. Why have two from Red Cross when you just have one all-encompassing through Red Cross? It just cuts out the extra and makes so much more sense, especially since the Life Saving Society offers the water first aid, which the others do not have. So it makes more sense. People can drown just off of drinking their own water. You don't have to be in a pool or a beach area. So I would have gotten it back no matter what, but this saved me the relief of having to go on to take it again. I'm now going to research whether or not this is good enough to give me the ability to get my instructor's training. I have to do my live teaches, basically. I have to do 2 live teaches through St. John's without having to take their OFA level 2, which is equal to the same thing as the standard first aid with CPR. That would save me money and time, and it would be wonderful. And whether or not I can do this through the Red Cross as well. I was looking for like a little mini course that would allow me to pay a small fee and then just redo my 2 live teaches so I could go on to be an instructor. And all of that is leading to the next big boom that I have to announce here, which is listed in the description below. And that is that the Lord is good to me. Jesus is kind, And I didn't plan this. I didn't see it coming. I didn't know when, where, or how, or what was going to go on to make it happen. But my security website finally dropped in soft launch on the same day I completed the course. So on June 1st, when I was done the course, I got this information in the email. Well, during that day, I got the information that they had put together the site finally and that I would like it. And of course I did. I was like, thumbs up. You guys got this. And so it's just about fine tuning it with the other stuff that it needs to be activated with to be a full launch so I can start working right away. And of course, continuing to add things as I expand the company and the business and the affiliation programs. There's lots to come with mental health certifications and interventions and suicide intervention training and obviously the nonviolent crisis intervention, so CPI, and what's it? RAP levels 1, 2, and 3. So there will be first aid as well, and I can stream across St. John's, Red Cross, and Life Saving Society, and do something that nobody else does. So my job with my company is to offer stuff to help people make a difference instead of just trying to make money from it, where the difference is what they're actually needing, right? So providing the right care, and it's all under Christian-based practice. And God is in charge of business, is in charge of everything good, so that good things can come to everyone from that. I'm going to try and lift this up. I'm sorry if it disconnects. I hope it doesn't.